All right, lesson 8-2. And the math box. All right, and the lesson. Scaling down a gallery wall. The scale drawing on journal page 355 represents an art gallery wall. The wall in the gallery is 9 feet tall and 8 feet wide. Each grid is 1/4 by 1/4 with an area of 1/16 square inches. What scale was used to make the drawing? So you're going to be counting those grids and then justify your answer. Okay, so pause the video and go to page 355 and count those and do your best to figure that one out. Okay, so if we counted them, now I cut mine off at the bottom so you won't be able to count mine, but on your page you should have been able to count 27 going vertically and 24 going across. So that means if this is 8 feet and this is 9 feet, we have, if we divide this into our feet, each square is 4 inches. So that means we had every 4th inch on the scale is 4 inches on the wall. And to justify that, you can just show your work there. Okay, so using that scale, every 1/4 of an inch is 4 inches on the wall. Whoops, sorry about that. Let me fix that. 1/4 equals 4 inches on the actual dimension, okay? So for example, let's do this one. I'll just start one here for you. This 3/8 inches, how many 1/4 pieces are there? Well, we have 3/8, so that's a whole 4 inches plus a half of 4 inches. So we have 4 inches plus 2 inches makes the 6 inches. Okay, so try a few of those at least. Pause the video and do that. And then down below, well, then come back and I'll show you the answers. Make sure you're on the right track. And then we'll try G and H. Okay, check to see if you got close to that. And you did have to do some counting on page 355. Then pause the video and go to the page 355 and you're supposed to draw 2 G and H that these dimensions here would work. Okay, so compare these, if you're struggling here, compare these to the answers that you got up in here, okay, to what I just showed you here on this other page. For example, letter A has 12 inches, letter D has 12 inches, so that's going to help you with this one. And look for those patterns. So go ahead and pause. And you should have had 1 1/8 by 9/16. And the drawing should look like Something like this anyway. It doesn't have to be exactly in those spots. Okay. So now we're moving on to spending and saving money. So number one, Meredith has $100 in her savings account. Every week she's going to earn $12 for watching her younger brother. So much will she have after 4 weeks? So pause the video and go ahead and figure that one out. You can do A, B, C, and D, I think, on your own without any trouble. Okay, so if she has $100 to start with, and she's going to work 4 weeks at $12, she's going to make another $48. So how much money will she have? $148. That's an 8. Funny looking 8, but it's an 8, okay? So write an equation to represent that. B is the number of weeks. So she's going to earn 12 for however many weeks. Y is the amount of money she has, and she already had the $100. So that's 100 plus 12 times however many weeks. In how many weeks will she have $250? So that becomes your Y. 250 equals 100 plus 12B. And let's solve that. Subtract 100 from both sides. Divide by 12. And if I have 150, divide by 12, we're going to get 12.5. So how many weeks? We're not going to put 12.5 because she's not going to work a half of a week. The answer would be 13. And explain how you found that answer. We just showed our work, okay? The gardening club has a yearly budget of $200, and they're going to buy starter tomato plants, tomato and peppers plants for their school, and their plants are $2.50 each. If the gardening club buys 22 tomato plants, how much money will they have left? So you should be able to pause the video and do A, B, C, and D here also. So go ahead and pause. Okay, so we're going to take our 22 times 250, and we get $55. Now that's not, let me back that up because that's not the answer. That's not what they're asking us. They said how much money will they have left? They spent 55. They had 200. So 200 minus 55, the answer would be $145 left. Write an equation to represent how much money the gardening club will have after purchasing Z plants, and H is the amount of money they will have. So H equals 250, let me get my decimal in there, times Z, and I should have left more room there. I'm going to erase that a little bit here because we still are going with the $200. So the $200 minus what they're going to spend. 250 times however many plants. If the gardening club decides to use their entire budget, how many plants can they buy? So they're going to use all $200. And they're 250 times however many plants. Now we're going to take 200 divided by 250. And they can buy 80 plants. 80 plants is your answer. Just C. Explain how your equation, use your equation. Well, the work is kind of right here. So you can just show your work like that. Number 3, Michael earns $14.50 per day mowing lawns. He's saving money to buy a new tablet, and the tablet is $250. T's represent the number of days that he works, so that's your time. W is the amount of money that he has. Write an equation to represent the total amount of money that he will have after the end of T days. So $14.50 per day, and day is our time. That's our T. And that's going to equal W. Okay? And then use your equation to figure out how many days he will have to work in order to have enough money for the tablet. So we need $250 because the tablet is $250 to equal $14.50 times T. Divide both sides by $14.50. So 250 divided by 14.50 comes out to 17.24. And we're not going to have 17.24. So how many days? You'll have to work 18 days. And here is the math box for this section on page 353. And the study link, I'm going to slide it up here so you can see the bottom. Let me just make that a little smaller. That'll all fit here then. And there you are. Have a good day, everybody.